Well, hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we have a Valentine's Day, an early Valentine's Day treat in that we have the brand new Natasha Denona Love Face Palette. If you loved, like me, her Glam face palettes, and there were two of them if you recall, we now have a third to add. Not only does this add to the Natasha Denona Glam face palette, I should say, family, it also adds to the Natasha Denona Love family. There's more of that than you might realize. So we are going to compare everything and we are going to try this on. As you see, I have very heavily bubblegummy cheeks because I built up the shade, but I am definitely wearing this palette right now and I will show you how I did it as we get to it. Let's talk a little bit about the palette first, and here's the timestamp of when the demo comes. First of all, I first saw this palette, thank you to Makeupcrayz, who had a little leaky and was able to show it to us, and I told her that I didn't understand it because it looked so pink and brown. Thankfully the photos were a little misleading. It's more pink and gold. And I also need to thank the lovely Snoopy Coupon. You should be following both these ladies. I'll put their information down below, both Makeupcrayz and Snoopy Coupon. They are awesome, and Snoopy Coupon had this, in journalism we call it a scoop. She had this before anyone else, and I used her information to go to Look Fantastic, and I was able to get a hold of it before they went, whoops, too early, and they shipped it to me. That's how I got it. Everyone's going to say, how'd you get it soon? That's it. So please make sure you follow those two ladies. They have all the information and I adore them both. Okay, let's talk about this cool palette. This will be, probably by the time this video goes out, this will be up on her online, so forgive me if I have any of that sort of information wrong. I'm slightly guessing. I'm assuming it will be $62 like the current price of the other two Glam face palettes, but we shall see. We have two cheek colors, a cream cheek blush and a golden highlight under this flap. I like to call it the Ta flap. Patrick Ta, I know Natasha Denona did the flap first, but it sounds good. Patrick Ta has it. I like to call it the Ta flap. Just has a nice ring to it. So underneath the top flap, we have a cream blush and we have a golden highlighter and then 5 really beautiful pink-inspired, love-inspired eye shades. I had originally thought, like I said, that this was half pink and half brown, but it's really kind of half pink and half kind of goldeny, rosy colors. So it's a lot prettier in real life than those leaked pictures are. You know how that goes, right? That's always the case. We're going to take a look at this in a few different lights, actually 3 different lights. It's super rainy here in Southern California, which is very rare. So I did get some natural light shots, but, well, you'll see what I did. Let's start. We're going to do a lot of comparisons. That's why I'm moving so fast. We're going to do a lot of comparisons. Remember, the demo starts at this time. We are going to do a lot of comparisons. So let's go. First of all, here is the Natasha Denona Love Face Palette laid out the way you see it here in the palette first in studio lighting. Take a look at that. I hope you can see it well, but don't worry. I have different lighting and different shots. If you can't see it, do not worry. I do not want to fail you. Then we are going to go outside, well, I usually say into the warm California sunshine, but it is a rainy, yucky day. So we're going into what natural light I could get, and you could see me moving my arm around and kind of chasing it to try to get you the best lighting. That is, again, the new Natasha Denona Love Face Palette laid out as it is in the palette. Trying to get some natural lighting for you guys. It's really dreary out today. So what I did, because I felt that that still wasn't quite good enough, I went ahead into, well, of all places, my bathroom, which I have supposedly natural sunlight. I don't know how natural sunlight it is, but supposedly, so take a look at it in there too. I'm just trying to catch those shades and the nuances in those shades. I am planning a video on color correctness. It's almost impossible unless you're a professional who's calibrating your screen to be perfectly color correct, but I'm hoping to get a few different lights to help you out there. All right, the other thing that I want to show you is the rest of the Love collection. Though this adds to her face palette collection, I'm happy to do those kind of swatches if you need those over on Instagram. Just give me a holler over here, either here or over on Instagram. I'm happy to do that. But what I'm going to take our time to do today right now is to look at the Love collection. Sometimes when Natasha Denona names a palette, we're all a little bit lost. You know, that is the retro palette? I don't think so. That's the Glam, but this really does feel like it is influenced by the rest of the items in her Love and indeed that Mini Crush which I'll count as love. The minis. So we have our new palette here. And let's look at the mini eyeshadow palettes. We have the Mini Love. Okay, let's look at it next to the Mini Love. You can see where they're inspired by one another. I'm just looking at the eyeshadow row right now, and the Mini Love, and then the Mini Crush. Like I said, I'm going to count that. If our kids think a crush is love, why can't we? There's the new shades right there. Here is the Mini Crush. You can see they're in the same family. And let's take a look at those right now. First of all, in studio lighting, here are just the eye shades from this brand new Love Face Palette, just the eye shades. And underneath it on the left, we have the Mini Love, and on the right, the Mini Crush, with our brand new Love Face Palette eye shades only above it. And now, of course, it gets its own comparison to the actual Midi Love Palette. I think there's actually some similarities here. You can see why they're named that. The Love Palette in the Midi size is a lot deeper and darker, but there's some good deep shades in this new one. Take a look here, not at the cheek shades, but take a look at the eye shades, and then all of the shades in the Midi Love Palette. And then on my arm, I have put the eye shades of the new Love Face Palette. And then the next two rows, I just shoved them in there. The next two rows are the Midi Love eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona underneath that. And then we'll first finish looking at that because there's a lot to compare. Freeze the screen if you need to. And then we have our cheek shades. So I want to take a look at those. What Natasha Denona has, and I might have even missed one, my goodness. She has got the Love Glow Cheek Palette, which has 4 shades, and the Love Cheek Duo, which has 2 shades. And then, of course, there's our cheek shades here. Let me lift up the flap. So here are, pay attention just to this cream cheek and this kind of golden kind of cheek topper. You'll see in the demo, I really want you to see both this cheek topper here and this kind of beautiful celestial shade in the eye. I want you to see those in the demo. That applies maybe differently than you would think, okay? So looking just at those 2 cheek shades, here it is next to the Love Glow cheek palette and then the Love Cheek Duo. Definitely in the same family, right? Definitely. And then what I have here, I'm going to do 2 of these. I don't think this showed well enough for you, so I'm going to do 2 different lightings. But first, in studio lighting, we have the 2 new cream blush and cheek glow on the top from the Love Face palette, and then on the bottom, the 4 from the Love Glow cheek palette. And to the right, the Love Cheek Duo. But I didn't feel you could see them well enough. So I went back, forget that natural lighting, it's letting us down today. I went back, believe it or not, to that bright bathroom, supposedly daylight. And we have, again, same swatches, the new cream blush and cheek glow from the Love Face palette. And then the bottom left is the Love Cheek Glow, that quartet there. And then the duo, the Love Cheek Duo, is on the bottom right. And I just wanted you to see the differences and similarities there. This definitely fits into the face palette, and it fits into the theme of her love palettes, I really think. And a definite surprise for Valentine's Day. We just thought we were getting those red lipsticks, didn't we? So this is beautiful. I am a big fan of face palettes to begin with. I have used the heck out of the Glam face palettes, both of them. And I will use this one too because I am in love with anything pink. And I'm really relieved to see that this is kind of pink and golden and rosy. Some of you might be rosied out. There have been a lot of rosy palettes. I don't think it's anything I'll ever get sick of, for better or for worse. Funny phrase to use with love. Let's go ahead and start right now on our demo. Stay right there. You guys know I love pink. It's the one shade I can never get enough of. So basically I have a pink palette, some rougher brushes, and a dream. Let's go for it here. Let's start with the eyes, and we're going to start with, I lifted up the little flap just to make sure, but we're going to start with this Juliet shade here because it's kind of a matte pink. And I am just going to put it all over my eyes. I do have some mascara on still because I was filming today, but I have nothing else on my lids. So it's a bit backwards, I know, but that's okay. So this shade, pink shade Juliet, is going all over my eyes. and I'm happy with it. And we're going to use that same Rephr 15. This is a Rephr 15 brush, and I'm going to go into Esme, the slightly deeper pink matte shade, here next to it. And we're just going to kind of put Esme in the corner and see what happens. Okay. Very pretty so far, pink as promised, and I'm happy. I do kind of want to use this Echo shade here in the middle, but let's see, we have Affinity and Giddy. Okay, let's stick with this 15 because I don't mind if these colors blend together a little bit. And let's take this Giddy, kind of a slightly beigeish brown shade, but a lot of pink in it, especially as I mix it purposefully on the brush, and just kind of do over the center of the eye. And then I'm going to switch here also to a Rephr, but a Rephr number 12, and I think I'm going to take that Giddy shade and run it underneath. What do you think so far? That's pretty good, huh? Okay, we have not used the Echo shade. So let's take the Echo shade. I'm not going to really use that, but it's kind of a dark, pretty maroon shade. So let's run that under a little more. Why not, right? We'll go real smoky pink. And then, of course, we have our Affinity glistening shade here, and we'll just kind of put that in the middle, and it's acting very much like a kind of celestial topper shade rather than a foiled shade that exists on its own. Now this would be very pretty on bare eyes, don't get me wrong, but I just want you to know that it's terribly transparent, or wonderfully transparent. I don't mean to give a negative inference there, but wonderfully, I should say, transparent, so you can still see all the shades that I've done quickly underneath. Very pretty. Okay, let's get into these blushes now. And we're going to start with the cream blush. Actually, this blush now, what am I saying? The other's a highlight. And I'm just going to kind of tap that on with my fingers, and then we'll see. This is a very, very bright pink blush. It's kind of reminding me, if you want to think about current blushes, it's kind of reminding me of that Tarte Energy blush that came out a while ago and was a little bit of a hit, especially over on TikTok. That was a real, I shouldn't say this, but for lack of a better term, Pepto-Bismol pink. Nothing wrong with Pepto-Bismol, the shade is pretty. Okay, let's see. But it's pinker on the cheeks, as you can see. It's pinker on the cheeks than it even is. It looks almost rosier in the pan, doesn't it? And then it goes onto the cheeks. Let's make it a little darker, darker than I would really wear it, but really just to show you guys. Let me really kind of build it up just by tapping it on with my fingers so you can really see that shade. It is very, very, very pink. Wow. And I'm wearing it quite heavily here. I think a little heavier on one side than the other, actually. I'm a little mismatched. Okay, you get the idea. I really just want you to basically be able to tell what the shade is. Very pretty. And then, of course, we are going to take another Rephr, a Rephr number 4, and go into the Dream Glow here and see how this gold looks. I am putting the gold, ooh, that's pretty, directly over that kind of very bubblegum. Bubblegum's a better word than Pepto-Bismol, isn't it? That bubblegum pink. And I am very heavily, heavily made up because I have overdone it. I kind of like this as a cheek topper, a blush topper, I should say. But it could be used, I'll show you it here, just kind of down the nose on its own. And it's a very pretty, it's not too gold. You can kind of see it on the edge of my nose there, like an early 2000 Instagrammer. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of it above here too, and I also want you to see it over the huge amount of blush that I have built up for you to be able to see the shade. I am really happy with that. If you, like me, are a lover of pink things, if you loved all the Divine Rose stuff from Pat McGrath, and if you love all of these pink palettes that come out around Valentine's Day, you will not be disappointed. This pretty much is queen of the pinks, and I'm not mad at that. Here's what I want you guys to do. Because the weather won't stay rainy like it is right now in Southern California. Remember the phrase, it never rains in Southern California? Well, It does, but it won't stay that way. So I'll have sunshine soon. Tell me what swatches you need over on Instagram. But if you tell me on Instagram, that's great. If you tell me here, which is fine too, let me know your name over there so I can tag you. And I can let you see what we have there if you need any sort of comparisons between this new Love Face palette and anything that Natasha Denona already has, or if you need it cross-brand. I'm here for you and happy to do it. So just let me know. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope you did. Don't forget to leave those comments. And if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so we can continue to grow. Come and say a big hello over on TikTok and Instagram too. And don't forget that you can support the goings on here by becoming a member for behind the scenes antics, or by giving super thanks as so many of you have done. But if nothing else, I would really love to see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.